Nuland, who is the driving force behind the war in Ukraine, helped start the war in Ukraine, in January threatened to blow up the Nord Stream pipelines so that Russia couldn't send gas to Europe. Remember this?
I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
So then in September, somebody blew up the pipelines, and that was the biggest man-made environmental disaster in history. If you're worried about climate change, you should be in tears because of the amount of carbon that emitted into the atmosphere. So it was pretty obvious to us the Biden administration was involved in this. We said that, and we were immediately denounced by the entire left and the entire media as agents of Putin. Why are they doing that? And by the way, when we actually join this war in force, what will they do to anyone who objects to it? Ooh, they're going to punish people. You watch. But with this in mind, we were a little bit surprised to see Tulsi Gabbard essentially admit last week that she did it. Watch this.
Senator Cruz, like you, I am, and I think the administration is very gratified to know that Nord Stream 2 is now, as you like to say, a hunk of metal at the bottom of the sea.
Oh, she's excited about it. When it happened, they said, we're upset about it. We have no idea who did this. And if you think we had a hand in it, you're Putin. What are we watching here? Tulsi Gabbard is a former presidential candidate. She joins us tonight. Congresswoman, thank you so much for coming on. So now they're basically admitting it and nobody is saying anything? Why?
Well, I think there's two really important things for the American people to take away from what you have just outlined here. Number one is that statement from Victoria Nuland just exposed her and the administration's truth, which is that they have been lying to us all along about this. There's no way the United States was not either involved or knew about this or at the very minimum approved it. So they've been lying to us. They've been deceiving us, saying, hey, look, the United States had absolutely nothing to do with this, while also trying to sell us the absurd lie that, well, of course, Russia somehow bombed their own, exploded their own energy infrastructure to hurt their own economic interests. That it just shows how stupid they think we are that we would buy such an absurd argument. Their lying to us shows us yet again that we can't trust anything that they're saying. We can't trust any of these narratives that are coming out of the mainstream media. The second thing that's important to recognize that is very dangerous is that they are setting a precedent through what her statements are and their actions that now that it is acceptable to go and essentially use sabotage against infrastructure as an acceptable strategy. So we have to look at our own vulnerabilities in this area, whether it's the undersea cables, our communication systems, our financial systems, our own power grid and energy system vulnerabilities. The list goes on and on. The argument is very clear. Hey, look, if it's okay to go after and bomb and destroy Russia's oil and gas infrastructure, why would it not then be okay for someone else to come and attack our own, exploit our own vulnerabilities here? So this is the position that the warmongers in Washington have put us into, we the American people, all in the name of saying, hey, we're doing this to protect you. We're trying to protect democracy, but their actions are making us less safe and undermining our democracy, because we cannot have a functioning democracy if we can't trust what our leaders are telling us.
Well, and they don't care about democracy at all. But mark my word.
No.
Anyone who calls them out on their lies, they've already denounced you, for example, as a disloyal American who serves their country in uniform. If this war accelerates, they will go after you and everyone else who's called them on their lies. That's
where it's up to the American people. We're the only, like, where is their hope? The hope lies in our hands to fire, get rid of throw these lying, warmongering politicians out of office and stop listening to the crap the mainstream media and big tech is putting out, and take a stand for the truth for our country and for our security and freedom.